Hi, friends. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to my podcast, One in a Billion. Today, we have with us an amazing personality and a human being from Chennai, Coach Venkateshwari, also known as Venky. She is an NLP practitioner, hypnotherapist, storyteller, comedy script writer, mental wellness advocate, and so much more. Venky, I went through your LinkedIn profile and one particular statement caught my attention.
Yes.
You strongly believe that every person has the potential to create their own path to happiness and success.
Yes.
So, Venky, you've spent almost 18 years in the corporate world, starting from Orange, then Hutch, Vodafone, and then you've been freelancing and consulting in the past 12, 13 years. It's amazing to have you here. I'm welcoming you with a deep sense of gratitude. Um, Welcome to this podcast. And before we begin, I would like to put a quote of Mark Twain here.
Sure.
I guess this is appropriate. This is how it goes. Whenever you find yourself on the side of the majority, it's time to pause and reflect. So, what
Wow.
makes Venky special and different?
Thank you. Firstly, Satish, let me thank you for this invitation and having me here today. And what makes Venky special is what she speaks, what she does, demonstrates her way of being. And when you meet her, um, you'll feel proud to be associated with her because of the person she is. And I feel lovely about the space that I'm in. And that's the space that I've created within me for myself in the last few years.
Right.
That makes Venky special.
Right. Amazing, Venky. Anything I missed in introduction that you want to say about yourself before we actually begin our set of questions?
So thank you. That was such a wonderful introduction. And
Okay.
I'm really glad that you've done a lot of research and work. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's my work and it's my pleasure. Venky, I know that I know briefly about you. We've connected over many occasions for coaching conversations, and we've had some personal interactions as well. And though we've not met actually in person, but I feel that we are connected for a very, very long time, and we have this deep sense of friendship with us. And I know you grew up in Mumbai.
Yes.
I had never been to Mumbai. For me, Mumbai is like crowded trains, fast pace of life, stock exchange, and the money markets and the whole financial world is out there. And whenever I came across a Mumbaikar, I always saw them very driven, very passionate about their work, so much of enthusiasm in what they do. What do you remember about growing up in Mumbai, and
Yes.
anything interesting that you want to share?
Yes, of course. I think Mumbai is me. I carry Mumbai along wherever I go. I grew up and I'm born and raised in Bombay. And the last 8 years, I live in Chennai now. And Mumbai gave me, the resilient part of me. And growing up in Mumbai, of course, people think it's very tough because it's a highly populated city. But what you see in that population is that there's place for everybody. There's a place for everyone to thrive. Anybody who lands in Bombay can find a profession, can make money, and there are so many dreams around. And when you see people thriving with their dreams, that inspires you. And that's what is Bombay, a city of dreams. And growing up in Bombay, also my father moved to Bombay when he was about 15 years of age. And from then he's in Bombay, and seeing him set up his business from extreme poverty to building something of his own and doing it all alone. I think that was another part of my growing up days where I get this resilience, I get this strength from. My father is he's my role model.
Wow.
And when I reflect back, I always feel that I've got so much from him, and I'm so him. So so when I talk about Bombay, and this is what I think about. Another thing is the culture of Bombay. Of course, it is very fast paced, but it also teaches you to make quick decisions, be a little faster, be
Right.
faster on your growth trajectory, which to some extent can intimidate people. But if you find a balance within the fast paced life, I think it's a great city to live in. I miss Bombay. I call it still Bombay. And it doesn't come very easy to me to say Mumbai.
Right.
Yes. But I love Chennai too. It's another different city.
That's so wonderful, Venky. Thanks for sharing this. Any interesting event that happened in Mumbai that you want to share to our audience?
Yes.
That changed your life or that changed the perspective of who you are as a person. We all have that one incident where, that we remember for our lives, right?
Yes. The 1992 riots. When it began, I think I was in 8th standard. It was afternoon, and we were said that we had to go back home. And we had a school van, but the school van dropped halfway, and I was the only girl. And our stop was the last stop. So the bus didn't reach our stop, and they said that we needed to get down halfway before. And I had about 4 girls younger than me to take care of. And we all got down at the place where we were told to get down, because buses weren't allowed. The roads were shut. We didn't know what was happening in the city. As I'm talking to you, I'm just getting goosebumps because I'm there now, suddenly.
Right.
I'm already teleported to that place. And looking around, I could see something was wrong. Things were burning. I still remember a taxi burning. I still remember people running. But nobody did anything to us because we were school children in school uniform, and we were walking back. And I was responsible for my sister and 3 other girls. And we were going home, and I took them all home. And that day, something shifted. That day, I realized that what is the world doing? Why is there so much of divide? And also, I felt very responsible for those girls who had to take home. And my parents took care of them while we called them. That time we had telephone lines. Luckily, MTNL. Mumbai has MTNL. So MTNL numbers were working fine, and we could connect to the parents, tell their parents to come and pick up their children from our home. But what made that shift was the feeling of why divide? And second is that what is that I could do as a child that time to ensure that I don't have this feeling of divide. I think that struck very deep that day. And hence, you may, as a friend, you may have heard me say that statement very often, saying, I accept people as they are. And so however unique people are, we just have to accept who they are.
Wow, that's pretty powerful, Venky.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. Even I could imagine myself going to Mumbai, just listening to you. Very, very, very powerful. And
Thank
so,
you.
Venky, from then you went to college and schooling at Mumbai, and then you picked up a corporate job. Then why did you move to Chennai? What happened there?
I picked up a corporate job. I also turned entrepreneur. I started an activity center for kids called Venky's Joy of Learning, and everything was running smooth. And 2015, my husband had a job. He had an opportunity which was a growth opportunity, and it was in Chennai.
Okay.
And he chose that opportunity, and we decided to move. And I definitely didn't want to move to Chennai then,
Right.
because I still remember writing a poem and saying that I'm taking the Bombay along with me.
Okay.
But coming to Chennai, I realized that I had to uproot myself out of Mumbai, and the universe had some different plans and said that, you know what, Venky, you need to now experience another place and set up base.
Right.
I found such a lovely community of friends. And it was beautiful. I think the whole 8-9 years has been wonderful, and where I had to set up a new base here. The schools are fantastic. I think everybody told me that it's a very acad-oriented city, and I didn't believe them. It's a great place for kids to get educated. So that's the reason why I moved to Chennai, because we had to. But today I call Chennai home. Okay.
So if somebody asks you where you're from, will you say a Mumbaikar or a Chennaiite?
That's a googly. Okay. I will say that I'm a Mumbaikar.
Wow.
I'm honest. I'll say I'm a Mumbaikar, but I live in Chennai today.
Wow. That's great. All right. So how, I know that you're a practicing coach now, and you help your clients to, improve their quality of life, and you coach people, you coach entrepreneurs, and you coach management, senior management of various corporates, and you coach individuals on various subjects. What made you shift to coaching?
Very good question. I would love to answer that. From 2018, I was going through a very dark phase. I knew that while I was doing everything right, I had I had the right qualifications. I was a very smart, hands-on mother. I had a beautiful family. I had a beautiful house. But something within wasn't complete. I always felt that I needed to build a lot of resilience. I was an emotional wreck. Anything small external could cause a lot of internal chaos, and I had to address it. 2018, something very, very personal and difficult period that I had to go through, and that just shook me up. And that day, I was Googling, what is inner strength? How does one become strong? How can you become so strong that nothing external can cause internal chaos? And I think I read about 100 articles on it. And somewhere I stumbled upon a statement which said relationship with yourself. And such a beautiful statement. And that is when I said I needed to understand what is this relationship with yourself. Later, as I progressed, I read through a lot of books. One book that changed my life was Louise Hay's Heal Your Life. It made me realize that I needed to be my own best friend. And that's the relationship that I had to have with my own self. That is, I stand up for myself. I offer compassion to myself. I take care of myself. I value who I am. Just like how we would do for a best friend, I would do for my family, my friend. But why not myself? That moment, I think that moment of realization changed my life forever.
Wow.
From who I was to 2018 and before to who I am now, I'm a different person, and I love the person I'm becoming. And during this part, I also got a coach for myself. I got a fitness coach, I got dietitian, I got I got a coach, a life coach for myself, and I said I needed to work on myself. And that's when that was another added bonus that I gave myself. So all these added as a catalyst because I wanted to take care of my body, take care of my emotions. It was I think it fastened the pace of internal growth. And I realized that if I know some of the strategies on how to do this, I have been in that path. I have done it. While there are many who may be still feeling stuck, still feel that they aren't happy, still feel like an emotional wreck, still can't handle external situations. And I want to be there to bring a difference to their lives. And I know how it is done. And and moving to coaching was because I wanted to offer people the same space that I reach today. Hence the journey to coaching. And of course, coaching is a miraculous tool. And only if you're ready for a coach to enter your life, can you set on that path of getting from where you are to where you want to be. And a coach is going to be a great catalyst at that.
Wow. I'm falling in love with what you are sharing here. I mean, I can deeply relate to what you just said. You know, as human beings, we all have this low moments in our lives where we feel stuck. And I was also stuck at the similar time, 2018, 2019, when I had the corporate job, too many customers to handle, too many responsibilities, completely stuck, burnt out, overwhelmed.
I know.
That's when one fine day when I was dropping my kid at school, I just typed something in the lines of motivational speech in YouTube. And I would listen to some motivational tapes, and one thing led to another. I listened to some podcasts and I started reading books, and here I am, completely transformed in the last 5-6 years, thanks to various podcasts that I've listened to. And that is one of the reasons why I started this podcast, to offer help to people who are stuck. And when it comes to people understanding of working on oneself at the present state of people's mind, where do you think they are in terms of awareness level of working on oneself to become a better version of themselves? So where do you see people getting stuck?
Everybody is stuck. Most of the people who are stuck and who are feeling stuck are at a state where they blame the external situation.
Right.
My life is so and so because someone has not done their job right. Somebody is not nice to me. Maybe someone may say that I didn't have the right education, I didn't have the right set of friends. I think the blame is external. What the starting point to set out on that journey to work on yourself begins when you become aware that I am accountable for anything that happens. And I think that's what changed my life. The day I said that, you know what, I am accountable for the experiences of my life. I am responsible for every relationship in my life. I am responsible for how people interact with me, because that's how I demonstrated myself to people around. That's how I demonstrated myself who I am. If I change that way of being, if I start working on myself, everything will change. Once you get that awareness, I think it will begin. The journey will begin for everybody. So once you move out of that fact of blame, guilt, being hard on yourself, Many times, also another reason why people may not want to move ahead is saying that is having this feeling of, I am not good enough. Maybe this is what I can have the best in my life. No, you are, it is possible, and you are capable to live a much better life than you think.
Sure.
And create a great space within yourself to experience the world at its optimum. And it's all here. It all begins within. So, yeah. So that's my answer.
Yeah. Thanks, Venky, for sharing it. A quote by Jim Rohn is coming to my mind when you just shared this. I do not remember verbatim as to what he said, but this is what he said. You grow up when you accept total responsibility for your life.
Mm.
Very, very powerful.
Yes. And to that, I also want to add one of his another quote. We both are Jim Rohn fans. I think that makes us connect so much, and
Sure.
so many audios of Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn lives within me.
Sure.
So there are many people who live within me. That is Louise Hay, Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins. I think they are living somewhere within me, some parts of them. So Jim Rohn said that when you work for a job, you will make money. But when you work on yourself, you'll make a fortune.
Yeah.
And that fortune is not just the money, it's the relationship, it's the happiness, it's the way you will be thriving in your life. That's the fortune.
Right. Yeah, working on yourself, of course, you've shared the fact that starts from just accepting that everything is happening because of me, that responsibility, that accountability. Where else one can start?
Is to reach that stage of even accountability. I think something happens from the stage where you are not self-aware of where to start. You don't even know that you need to start something.
Right.
And then the next step, accountability, and then you set out on that journey of awareness and self-discovery. But what happens between that space? From saying I don't know to taking accountability is something that really shakes us up when it leads to immense pain. In my case, it was severe pain, and I wanted to figure out what I needed to do. When there will be a moment in all of our lives, and everybody has their own journey, where we feel that this is not how I want to live.
Right.
I think that pushes people to becoming accountable. And that's where the journey begins. While today, with the opportunity where everybody can go through so many videos, so many podcasts, so many books that are available, if people feel that they don't want to live the way they are living currently with challenges, with problems, and feeling stuck, and they want to make that change with the awareness that they gather through these mediums, I think again they would be able to move to that part of accountability. But again, you make the choice. What is it that you would want to do?
Right.
I think once you make that choice is when you will begin the journey.
Sure. I guess, in my opinion, spending time with oneself on a daily basis, maybe it's a meditation, maybe it's something else, something that you spend the time with yourself, 5 minutes to 10 minutes. And that's where the deep reflection happens. And that's where you start taking responsibility for your life and take control of your life. At the present moment, it's like giving the remote control of your life to somebody else and asking them to operate. And,
so
they will change channels. Yeah. They will change channels that they want to see.
I love that. Yeah, they change channels of what they want to see, and you will, your emotions will run wild, and you are figuring out what's happening in my life. Yeah. Until a day you decide that, you know what, nobody has the control. It's all here. I'm going to control my life.
So how does one propose to take that remote control back and regain that control?
Is by igniting that power within.
Mm.
When I say that power within is to generate that kind of self-awareness, to know your triggers, your challenges, your mental patterns, your strengths, your weaknesses, your self-talk, and then slowly and steadily see what is it that you want to work on, what is it that you want to change. The first step is awareness. When you know this is my trigger and it is there in your awareness, the journey has, I think you've won the battle half.
Right.
And then you will find ways, because once it is in your mind, the mind knows these are my triggers, these are my mental patterns. And what I need to do is break free. So eventually it will happen. Yes, it is a long journey. You have to be at it.
Sure.
You have to be at it and tell yourself that I am getting at a better place.
Sure.
But once you reach that place, it's such a wonderful place to be in, Satish. I'm sure you'll agree.
Sure.
It's such a beautiful place, and you feel that's ultimate freedom.
Yeah.
Not seeking validation for who you are. It's freedom. Not worrying about what the world will think of me is ultimate freedom. And when you reach that dangerously awesome level of freedom, yeah, the world remains the same. Things are all the same, but your lens has changed.
Right.
Yeah, and everything seems so wonderful and beautiful, and so everything looks possible. Yeah,
I'm already loving this conversation.
yeah, me too. Wow.
For the
Go on
people,
forever.
yeah, for the people who are listening, I just want to say, listen deeply and find out if you can spend 5-10 minutes with yourself and deeply reflect as to what you can do with your life. I guess all answers lie within yourself. You can definitely figure it out.
Yeah.
So Venky, let's shift gears a little bit here.
Sure.
Let's talk about belief system. You know, there are various beliefs that one hold about oneself, right? For example, me as a person, I am a pathetic dancer. I don't want to dance. When
That's a belief that you hold. That's a limiting.
Yeah, that's a belief. But it's been there since my childhood, and I'm not able to break out of it. I've never danced in my life, so whenever there is a dance floor, there is a dance opportunity, I'm just escaping from that scene. So that said, how does one break free from the limiting beliefs? I know you passionately spoke about these limiting beliefs and how one can break free in various your Instagram reels and various podcasts that you've done as a guest, and also the various public speaking events that you attend where you cover all this. I would like you to say a few words about this to our audience.
Sure. Yeah. Beliefs play a key role of who you are. The way we look at our capabilities is, if you, like you said, any of your capability, if you feel you can't do, you need to figure out where the belief is. So you want to know, firstly, I think the step here, you know, what are your limiting beliefs. So for the audience, the first thing, if they need to identify what are the limiting beliefs, is whenever you say you can't do something, just find out where is it coming from. What is that belief? What are you telling yourself? Second is various areas of your life. Just write down 5 statements about that area of your life. Like example, money means dash to me. Write down what money means to you. You'll find your beliefs there, good or bad. What are close relationships mean to you? You'll find your beliefs there. Limiting as well as empowering beliefs. Once you identify the limiting belief, you need to figure out what is it that I want to do with this belief. You have to make that choice for yourself. Is this, and identify whether it is limiting you or empowering you? Like you shared this example of not being able to dance and not wanting to dance on a dance floor. You need to ask yourself is, what do I want to do? What will change for me if I danced?
Right.
What will continue in my life if I didn't dance? So I think once you find those answers, you will know what you want to do with that belief. And after which, you may have to reframe a new empowering belief. What would the empowering belief for you be, Satish, in this case, that you would want to, in case you would like to change?
Let me think. This is a difficult question. So if I dance, then if I see myself dance once, then my confidence will grow a little bit. Then if I do the second time, then it will grow again.
Yeah.
And third time and fourth time, then you're at ease, and with effortless ease you can go about it.
Yeah. So dancing improves my confidence.
Right.
Could be an empowering belief. Now, if that is the belief that you need to get for yourself, you may have to challenge the old belief that you're holding, which is a limiting belief.
Right.
And the first step, I know it is going to be difficult, demonstrate the new belief. Take the new belief. And this is a great hack, which I want to tell the audience, is act as if you are that person. And it's a great hack that I use whenever I am faced with fear. We all humans, we all have fears.
Right.
When something stops you, when it scares you, I tell myself, Venky, act as if you could do this. What would you do? So if you had to act as if you were a dancer, maybe you'll shake a leg, do some 2 steps.
Right.
I think that starting point will establish that the old belief is no longer valid. What you feel at that moment by getting this, demonstrating the new belief, will also tell you that I don't want the old belief.
Right.
I think then you will move forward.
That's great. Thanks, Venky, for sharing this.
Most welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.
For such wonderful questions.
Yeah. So let's just imagine that our audience or listener, somebody who is in their late 20s, early 30s, or even somewhere in the middle of their life, like late 30s or early 40s, they have various limiting beliefs in themselves. For example, a person who is working at middle management has a limiting belief that I cannot become a managing director or a CEO of a company. And for a housewife who thinks that, I've become obese and I cannot lose weight and get back to shape. And the children who are playing various sports, maybe tennis, football, and they have a limiting belief that, I cannot go and achieve something very big in my career in any sport. What would you say to these people?
I want to say is that be open to possibilities. By believing that it may not happen, you are already restricting your possibilities. For parents, I want to tell your children that, dream big. Dream big. Anything is possible. Create that wonder in them of new possibilities. Just because we live in a certain situation right now, we can't be telling our children that, this is what we could afford or this is what you will become. Let them decide their course. Show them new possibilities. Talk to them about new possibilities. And for people who are at work or women who are homemakers, the first important thing is that find out who you are. What are your strengths? Many of us live in this version of ourselves with so much of self-doubt that we believe that only others can make it happen and not me, which is a serious limiting belief. You know what? Maybe the neighbor's child can go to a state level, not my child. Somebody else, oh, she is smart, she can do it, she can be a the best coach in India, I can't.
Right.
I think letting go of those limiting beliefs. Who added these limits to you? Us,
Right.
yeah, it is just you. Who told you this? Maybe some experience and circumstances did. But to move out of that, you need to have a vision of new possibilities.
Right.
And that will change only if you change your self-talk and tell yourself that you are capable for more. Teach your children that they are capable for more.
Sure.
Yeah.
This is very inspiring, Venky. For
Thank you.
people who are listening, please take notes, and this is definitely adding so much value this conversation, Venky.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Venky, I know that you passionately do Instagram reels.
Yeah.
1 minute. I recommend everyone to follow Venky. I guess I can share her Instagram handle in our show notes for the episode. So please click on the link and try to follow her, and she will make your life much, much better. I promise.
Thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm Coach Venky Empowers on Instagram.
Sure.
And I truly empower people.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that happening. You're already empowering me when we have this conversation. So this is just
Gratitude,
amazing.
grateful for this experience.
Sure, Venky. So what is behind your Instagram reels? Why do you want to do this?
Well, I've taken a pause in between, and I pause it very often. But I'm driven to make it happen every single day. I just started off doing reels even before I became a coach. And then I started getting good feedback. I think people really liked the content that I put up. And that was the motivation to do more.
Sure.
I love writing content, being a script writer. I love writing content. And maybe someday I want to, hopefully very soon, I want to write my book.
Sure.
Yeah. What has also happened, Satish, I want to tell you about this Instagram Reels is when you are making a content which is very bite-sized, which is just about a minute or 45 seconds, you rewrite the content so many times that you have to keep it very crisp and clear. That has changed the way I communicate just by consistent practice of making those reels.
Okay.
It has also made me be very clear and concise with my children. And I can see them also embodying it.
Sure.
Which has been a great reward for putting up that content. So I would love to do it more.
Wow. Keep up your good work, Venky. I know you're a passionate traveler. You travel to one place to the other quite often, and I came to know that you traveled with your youngest son to Himalayas.
Yes.
And I saw this picture of you meditating alongside a river. So can you share a little bit about that experience of your traveling?
Yeah, I love traveling. I think as a child, my father inculcated this habit of travel. So when we were in Bombay, we are, of course, Tamilians from Tirunelveli, from Tamil Nadu. So we would come to Tamil Nadu and we would then travel the whole of South India. So by the time I grew up, I think I had seen the whole of South India because he inculcated that habit. The habit was that every time you have a vacation, you have to travel. That's a routine that he set for us. And from then, it is very important for me to take my children to a different state every year.
Right.
And I love traveling. I love going to new places, experiencing new food, new culture. I took up trekking in the last 3 years, and I love trekking. So you spoke about this, where I took my son to on a trek or to the Himalayas. It's on a Himalayan trek, and I had a great experience. And here I want to bring up the point that I spoke earlier is totality of possibilities. I created for myself, because I had a limiting belief that I have to travel with both my sons and as a family. But I broke that limiting belief, and I created a new possibility for myself that I can travel with my son alone, and we could do a trek together, which is, of course, difficult. There are many risks involved, but we did it successfully. We became very close friends during that period.
Yeah, this is a scenario in many houses. We are living in one house,
Yeah,
but we don't talk to each other, and the gap between parents and children are
yeah,
widening day by day, thanks to various technologies available and various
true.
things.
Yeah, but I make it a point that we talk before we sleep, and we talk a lot of things, just general about what's happened in school, something that happened with me. I think I take an opportunity to share every day with the boys that, you know what, this happened with me at work. This happened with what I'm doing. For them to know is that in a family setting, you have to share what you feel.
Right.
And that's the culture I think I want them to grow in. That's the system I want them to grow in, saying you can share what happened, what you felt, what emotions were running wild throughout the day. And I take that step by telling, this is what I feel, this is what happened to me, so that they know it's absolutely okay to feel whatever you feel.
Absolutely.
Yeah, all your emotions, your thoughts, your feelings are valid.
Sure. And I guess it's an absolute responsibility as parents. When children come to talk to us, we have to drop everything else and just listen to them and just pay attention to them. I guess that's missing in today's society, where we are all glued to mobile phones and televisions. And when children have something very important to talk, and they will come to you and they will say, if you don't listen for a number of times, and there will be a time when they will not come to talk to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thanks for sharing that. So I'm just curious, Venky, how does one day in Venky's life look like? What time you wake up, and how do you
Yes.
go through your day?
Yeah, I wake up at 4:30 in the morning. My day starts very early. 5 o'clock, I begin my workout. 6:15, I'm done. Post which I do a short meditation. I say my affirmations.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do my journaling, and then comes getting the kids ready for school, sending them off to school. Yeah, and then I take a long, deep breath when I put them on their school bus and say bye-bye.
Right.
And I get 1 hour just with myself. And that 1 hour, I have decided to, half an hour, I do nothing. I've told myself I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to sit. It's okay with my thoughts, with my emotions. If I want, I'll journal something. I just sit with myself.
That's very powerful.
Yeah, thank you. I want to know what's happening within me. What are the thoughts? So just answering some questions for myself, giving some motivational gyan to myself. So telling myself, Venky, just go, girl, just do it. And so, yeah, post that, work begins. It could be coaching conversations, studying for my next level. In the coaching profession, there are so many credentials to acquire. So studying for that, doing a lot of research, understanding what are various coaching tools that I could offer my clients. And the day ends by 6:30, 7.
Okay.
Yeah. And then begin some time with my boys.
All right.
Their studies, and just understanding what's happened with them today. Yeah, so it's quite a packed day. At the end, before I sleep, I do yoga nidra every day before I go off to sleep. That's my way of just calming
Wow.
every part of my body, and just say, now it's time to take a good deep rest so
Right.
that you can be charged up for the next day.
Sure. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for so openly sharing this in a public platform about your personal life. I truly appreciate it.
Thanks.
Venky, we can go on and on.
Yes.
I'm mindful of your time, and
Sure.
Is there anything else at all that you would like to say to our audience that I did not ask? Anything, that one last thing that you want to leave this podcast with?
I want to tell people what it is to work on their self. And one question that people ask when I say work on yourself, you need to become, we all have to become the better version of ourselves, because we have certain dreams, aspirations, and to reach there, we need to become better version to have that resilience and to take certain actions we want to take. Many times people are posed with this question, saying that if I have to work on myself, does that mean I'm not good enough? No.
Right.
Yeah. When the only time you will start beginning to work on yourself is when you accept who you are. The breakthrough to that transformation, it will begin when you say, I accept who I am. I know these are my flaws. These are my quirky ways of being. These are the crazy things I do. This is the madness in me. And I accept who I am. I know my triggers. I know my mental patterns. I know why anger crops up. I know why revenge crops up. I know what are these negative emotions telling me. But I am now setting on this journey to find answers to this. And that is what is called working on yourself. It will begin, the breakthrough will begin the day you say, I love who I am. And I know I need to change. So there it is. Working on yourself does not mean you aren't good enough. It will begin, the breakthrough will begin the day you say, I am good enough. But you know what? I need to continue to be good enough and take some very, very crucial actions to become the person I wish to be.
Wow. What a powerful way to end our conversation, Venky.
Thank you.
It's been an absolute pleasure and honor to have you on this podcast. And Coach Venky, you're amazing. Just continue your good work. I wish you all success in whatever that you do. And for people who are listening, if you want to connect to Venky, I'll leave her contact number and I'll leave her email address, everything in the show notes. Please reach out to her. She will be an amazing coach. She will transform your life.
Thank
Venky,
you.
Yeah, please
Thank
go
you,
ahead.
Satish. This has been a wonderful opportunity for me to have this conversation with you. Thank you for this invite and having me here. Grateful for all the research that you did and to ask such wonderful questions. They made me also reflect, and the answers are because of those wonderful questions that you asked.
Oh, many thanks. It's already one of the best podcast episodes that I've recorded. Thank you very much, Venky, for your time. And if you have to recommend any book or podcast, I know you've already recommended Heal Your Life
Yes.
book that you've read. Any other books that you've read impacted your life, or any other podcasts that you've listened made an impact in your life? If you can share those.
Yes. So Louise Hay's book Heal Your Life, like you said. Second is Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins.
And
Okay.
this is a very old book, but you must read it. The third is Having the Courage to be Disliked. Yeah. The Courage to be Disliked is the name of the book. And we must all read that book. It's a phenomenal book. And the fourth is, please listen to all audios of Jim Rohn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He changed my life.
Oh, wow. High five. Jim Rohn is a grandfather I never had.
Right.
And Louise Hay is a grandmother I never had, but they are all very dear to me.
Right.
Yes. Still today, even today, I think I start my day with listening to Jim Rohn while I am in the kitchen doing some work. The background is always Jim Rohn, and my sons, even while driving, my sons have got introduced to who Jim Rohn is, who Louise Hay is, who Tony Robbins is.
Right.
So,
Wow.
so that's what I want to leave the audience with. So phenomenal, Satish. I enjoyed this conversation.
Absolutely. And before we go, I would like to leave our audience with one very interesting quote. This is by Jim Carrey. What an amazing actor and human being.
Yeah. Yes.
This is what he said. I hope everybody would get rich and famous and will have everything that they ever dreamt of. So they will know that's not the answer. So people, find out your answers for yourself. Spend time with yourself. Introspect. Challenge your limiting beliefs. There are various takeaways from this podcast already. Thank you. Thank you so much, Venky, for doing this. I wish the audience all the very best in your careers and lives. You can go ahead and live a life of your purpose and make it successful. Thank you so much, Venky.
Thank you,
for your time.
Satish. Yeah, phenomenal conversation. Until next time. Bye-bye.
Until next time. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye.